Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk about a team, the Chicago Bulls. But before we jump into that, I just want to make sure that if you are a new viewer, make sure to subscribe for weekly content on the NBA. I talk about my takes, playoffs. If you love basketball, this is the channel to be. And if you are an old viewer, make sure to like and comment so that we can get this video on the algorithm so that basketball enthusiasts like you and I can see this video and enjoy it. And aside from that, let's jump into this video. My name's Emmanuel Camia, and you're watching League Talk. So today I wanted to talk about a very interesting and intriguing team, the Chicago Bulls. Now, the Chicago Bulls have been a very interesting and intriguing team in my lifetime. I don't know for the older viewers who grew up in the 90s, but in my lifetime, the Chicago Bulls have been very interesting because growing up, you knew of Michael Jordan, right? And the Chicago Bulls have had the honor of having the best, arguably the best basketball player ever to wear their jersey, which has brought notoriety and respect to them not only in the realm of basketball or NBA, but in sports in general. People all over the world know about the Chicago Bulls because people all over the world know who Michael Jordan is. And if you ever were to Google a picture of Michael Jordan, well, there he is with the Bulls across his chest. And so this has brought them tremendous respect, and they've become a historic team. But the thing is, outside of Derrick Rose, the Chicago Bulls haven't really been great, which isn't an understatement. They've been atrocious outside of Derrick Rose. Ever since Michael Jordan retired from the NBA or from the Chicago Bulls in 1999, the Chicago Bulls have struggled to reclaim the glory that they once knew in the 90s. There's even a old myth that Michael Jordan is somehow a mastermind, evil mastermind behind the scenes who has time and time again worked to subvert the Chicago Bulls so that no other Chicago Bulls player will ever be greater than him, and so that he could maintain his status as the best basketball player ever. Does that sound dumb to you? Because it is. It's not true, because if it were true, first, how would you explain the Derrick Rose thing? How would you explain the Chicago Bulls drafting Derrick Rose and him being great? And second of all, the moves that the Chicago Bulls front office just made wouldn't align with this theory. And those moves are very significant. And those moves are the moves I wanted to make today in regards to whether if the Chicago Bulls are returning to their prior glory, the respectable franchise that they were, because Chicago is a huge basketball city. Chicago is a huge market. Front office of the Chicago Bulls got tired of being mediocre and just being terrible and just not being able to compete for championships. So what they did was this offseason, a few days ago, they went out and they acquired two really good players, in my opinion. They went out and they acquired Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan. These two will obviously join up with Zach Lavine in Chicago to form a trio, a big three of their own. Not the best big three in the Eastern Conference, but a big three nonetheless. And I actually like this move for a number of reasons. Not only do I like it because I think it's going to give Chicago back relevancy, but I like it for different reasons too. One of the reasons is that for a long time, for as long as I can remember, ever since he was drafted, I've always thought that Zach Lavine was a tremendous talent. For the last 2 or so years, it has ached me, it has hurt me to see Zach Lavine on the Chicago Bulls, because I thought he is a tremendous basketball player, a tremendous talent that is being wasted away in Chicago. Well, was being wasted away in Chicago. And it has ached my heart to see him just waste away his prime years, his youth years. This is a guy who's capable of dropping 50 points in the NBA on a given night. And if you don't know, it is hard to score 50 points in the NBA. It is hard to score 50 points at any level, especially in the NBA. And someone who can do that, not once, but a few times, that is someone who's very talented. And I've seen Zach Lavine drop 2 50-point games and lose, and it hurt me to see talent go to such waste. And because of that, I think that Zach Lavine has the talent to be the #1 guy on a championship team. When I think of Zach Lavine, I think, who else in the league could I compare Zach Lavine to? I would have to say I think of him as on the same caliber as Devin Booker. I would put Devin Booker a little bit ahead above him just because he's coming off of, a finals appearance. In terms of talent, in terms of explosiveness, I think Zach Lavine, this is a guy who's averaged 27, 5, and 5 last year. Off the top of my head, I can guess 3 really quality players that those are better numbers than James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and probably Kevin Durant. I think he's averaging more numbers than those guys. I may be wrong, but that's just a guess. 27 in the NBA is a lot. And that just goes to show you he's a really, really good talent and just being wasted away. So finally seeing him get some help brings a joy to me. It brings a smile to my face. And the #2 reason I really like this move is that the kind of help that the front office went out and got. That help in Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan fits Zach Lavine perfectly. The Bulls went out and they got a long, athletic, playmaker, pass-first point guard in Lonzo Ball to pair with a really skilled scorer like Zach Lavine. Not only that, they also went out and they got a supplemental scorer in DeMar DeRozan. Now, a lot of people have been sleeping on DeMar DeRozan, and I can understand why, but at the same time, I don't. People sleep on DeMar DeRozan because he's not in the limelight as much as he was when he was in Toronto. He went to San Antonio, and San Antonio was a terrible team, and so people overlooked him. And then also moving from the Eastern Conference to the Western Conference, the Western Conference has so many stars that it was just easy to overlook him. But this is a guy that averages 21 points. And the thing is, him at 21 points being the #2 to Zach Lavine is perfect. I love that for him, because the thing about DeMar DeRozan that we now is that DeMar DeRozan isn't a first option on a team. We saw that in Toronto. He wasn't a first option in Toronto. And then he was asked to be that again in San Antonio, and he couldn't be that. But playing the role of #2 to Zach Lavine, and then having Lonzo Ball be able to distribute and create plays for you guys, I think that is perfect for the Bulls. I think they made great acquisitions. I think these guys for them, amazing. While Lonzo Ball will be the starter and Kobe White will start to flourish and come into his own, what I think will happen is Lonzo Ball's presence on a defensive end will be felt. That is one of the best attributes that people overlook about Lonzo Ball. When people think of Lonzo Ball, first thing that used to come to their head was LeVar Ball, then his shot. But that's been fixed. Lonzo Ball has fixed the shot, and LeVar has not said anything about Lonzo in forever. And so the other thing people think about when they think about Lonzo Ball is his passing skills. Coming into the draft, when he was drafted, his passing skills was all of the rate. The thing that people overlook about Lonzo is he is a stellar defender, both on ball and off ball. He's a great help side defender, and because of his length, he's able to guard a lot of elite guards in the league, and I think that's going to be felt on a defensive end for the Chicago Bulls. So I really like that about Lonzo Ball. And then not only that, I like the trajectory his game has been taking. Lonzo Ball, when he first came into the league, he had a lot of pressure on him. LeVar put a lot of pressure on him by hyping him up, and every player came at Lonzo. I think that affected him mentally to the point where his shot was broken. His shot was completely broken. He couldn't make simple free throw shots. After being traded to the New Orleans Pelicans and the pressure not being on him and the limelight not being on him as much and being on Zion Williamson, I think Lonzo was able to come into his own and start to feel more confident, and it shows in his numbers. His numbers show a trajectory of him only getting better. I think Lonzo's only going to get better from here on out. When he hits his prime, and he becomes the basketball player that I know he can be, and you pair him up with Zach Lavine, a primary ball scorer, who also is going to hit his prime around the same time as Lonzo, and you have DeMar DeRozan as your secondary scorer, I think Chicago will have a really nice team. And another player that will come into their own around the same time will be Kobe White. And so I think the Chicago Bulls are in the making. They're kind of stirring something up here and setting the stage for return. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think the fans of Chicago have been starved for a long time, and Chicago is a great basketball city. One of the best player ever played for the Chicago Bulls, and I think I would really love to see them come back into prominence. They're one of those historic teams that have gone by the wayside, like the Knicks. It would be great for the sport and for basketball if those teams were good again. And I think these players are going to be able to bring that into fruition. Another thing I wanted to talk about was DeMar DeRozan. Like I said, he was kind of overlooked in San Antonio, but I'm hoping that coming to Chicago will give him some limelight, will shed light on his skills, because I still think he's a really capable player. He's a capable number 2. 21 points in the league, that's amazing for a second option. That would be great. That would be great for any team. If your number 2 guy can average 21 points, that would be great. And I think that him going to Chicago, I think leaving the Western Conference, I think it's going to shed light on him, and I think it's going to revive him in the general public, in the minds of the general public more, and I'm here for it. I want to see him do good. He was a good member of the Toronto Raptors, and I hope for the best for him. So yeah, make sure to keep an eye out for the Chicago Bulls in the next coming years. And those were just my thoughts on him. I think the Chicago Bulls are setting a stage for the return to prominence, for the return to relevancy, and don't sleep on them. These players all put together, I think they can work it out, and I'm really excited to see them. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below, and don't forget to like. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, and until next time, kids.